Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Michael for Spirit Comics. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please do subscribe and smack that notification bell hard like She-Hulk so you don't miss any new uploads. And also please do like and share this video with others so they can enjoy it as well. And don't forget to leave your comments. This will be my review for the 25 days of comic book reviews day 2. So let's see, on the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me Superman and John Constantine. Yes, a story starring them. This is from DC's holiday special that came out in 2017. Now, it's not as good like the one that came out in 2016. That one was comic book gold, in my opinion. That one had Harley Quinn at the beginning, all through the story, in between some of the stories, and at the very end. This one starts off with a Superman story that actually is John Constantine sitting there at the bar, and he's complained about the world. And this is written by Jeff Lemeire, and the art's not too bad. And he says, "I'm serious, Bibowski." Of course, everybody calls him Bibbo. "Look at the state of the world of things. The whole world's falling into the toilet." And Bibba's, not taking it. He says, "Alright, I've had enough of you." And he says, Yeah, I mean it. That's your last warning or you're cut off, Constantine." Then Bibbo goes over to Clark Kent, says, "How about you, buddy? Another?" "Sure, another club soda, please." "Club soda. Right, sure you don't want anything stronger?" Because Bibbo runs a bar. That's where people go to drink their troubles away. And over the page, he says, "No thanks. I need to work later." He says, "Suit yourself." And Clark remarks that he thinks Constantine has a point. That, it's been a tough year for him there in this universe. And Bibbo tries to point out the positive part of it. He says, "Oh, it ain't been so bad. As long as we got Big Blue, things will all work out. Trust me." And Clark might as well be drunk, 'cause the way he looks here. And he says, "Superman can't fix everything, Bibbo." He says, "Hey, watch what you're saying there, pally." And he goes to point out that Superman stopped Toyman in Metropolis, Metro Square. And that is Toyman, the old school type Toyman. I think he's been changed in appearance ever since. And it says, then he saved that school bus full of kids that swerved off the bridge. Then he changed the course of the hurricane, dammed up the floods, and did the coin toss at the Texans game. Took forever to come back down. So Bibbo's looking on the bright side, which is what we all need to do. And my guess is Jeff Lemeire is showing both sides that, it could be worse, but presently it's not so bad. Anyways, Bibbo goes on to remark, "There ain't nothing Superman can't do, and if you want to say otherwise, you can go drink somewhere else, bub." And Clark's sort of resigning himself to agreeing with Bibbo. But he says, well, I guess it's just that sometimes it feels like as soon as Superman fixes one thing, 10 more problems pop up. And that's kind of true in our own lives as well. Once something gets fixed, something else happens. I know it's true in mine. In October, I had seizures. I couldn't make any videos. In November, I had a horrible cold. And just at the tail end of November, my dad got put in the hospital, but now he's out. And he couldn't be with us on Thanksgiving because he was feeling so bad, and I couldn't be with my folks on my birthday, because November 17, because I was feeling sick. So I can understand what Clark's saying here. When Superman fixes one thing, something else happens. That's true in our own lives. And then Constantine jumps in saying, you said it for us. You think Supes has it bad? You should see some of the horrors I gotta deal with out there. I see what humanity is really like. It ain't all peace and love and goodwill to all, trust me. And then Bibbo's had enough. He kicks him out. And Constantine's like, whatever you say, mate. Ain't really my kind of joint anyway. And Bibbo's like, that guy is nothing but trouble. And Clark says, well, he's not so bad. At least not as bad as he wants us to think he is. And then Bibbo goes on about how he finally recognizes Clark as being one of the workers for the Daily Planet. And he remembers each year he comes in here in there alone, asking for a club soda and casting doubt about Superman. And I like what he says here. Well, let me tell you a thing or two, pal. I got all kinds of folks in here, and I hear all kinds of stories at these old bar stools, and you just gotta trust me when I tell you it ain't so bad. And that's the first part of it. The second part is put all the way at the back. Sort of like sandwiching the entire anthology, but not quite. And the art's not so bad. And here is the here's the ending of the story. And Bibbo says, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I know there is a lot of bad out there, Mr. Kent, but there's a lot of good too. Trust me, I've heard the stories. And if you keep trying to make the world a little bit better in your own way, you'll inspire others to do the same, just like Big Blue. And I have to hand it to Jeff Lemeire, because that really is inspirational. Because all of us, including myself, at times get down when we think, that we're not accomplishing anything, we're not affecting the world in any way. And then someone comes along and tells us, hey, you are, even though you don't realize it. And Clark thanks him and for the reminder. And Bibbo's like, of what? That it's still worth it all. See you next year, Bibbo. And he says, I'll have the club soda ready, pal. And from there on, the story gets even better. And John Constantine accuses Clark of looking through rose-colored glasses, or maybe that was earlier. And he says, don't you don't think I don't recognize you, Boy Scout," which is what people call Superman. He says, "I don't know what you mean." "Come on, I wasn't born yesterday, mate. You can't tell me you fell for all that bollocks in there." And you've seen what I've seen. You know how bad it is out there. You know as well as I do the evil that lurks under it all, mate. Clark says, "I have, but I also know there's hope. The light is always stronger, Constantine, always." And this is what Brian Michael Bendis doesn't understand. That Superman stands for truth, justice, the American way, hope. And everything I've heard about his Superman writings, and I've even seen some of it myself, it's just total void of hope. Brian Michael Bendis is sort of like John Constantine, I think. He says, "Hey," he just sort of laughs at Clark and says, Clark says, "If there's no hope, then why do you keep at it then?" Because there's always got to be a reason. He says, "Someone has to do it." That's to me, a lackluster reason. And that's what Clark says. That's not a good enough reason, Constantine. And you know it. You must have someone you're fighting for. "I work alone, mate, for myself." He says, "Whatever you say, John." "Constantine, what? Are you hungry?" And this is where it gets really nice. And it ends at the Kent apartment. Superman, and might I say, the sexy Lois Lane. Look at her in those boots, and that dress too. Wow, I can't whistle. Yeah, I can't whistle. If I could right now, then I would. And there's John, before Brian Michael Bendis sent him into space and brought him back as, something totally different. He says, "So, what are your powers?" "I don't have powers." Look at him just sitting there. And John's like, "Okay, what's your costume like then?" I don't wear a bloody costume." And then John puts a Santa cap on his head and says, "Now you do." And Constantine's holding, his glass of alcohol, or maybe eggnog, or I don't know what it is. And he's about to drink it. Yes, it must be alcohol. And Lois says, "Ahem, not in my house." And you can see Constantine looking the other way, just says, "Bah humbug." And just look at the smile on John's face. That kid is comic book gold. At least he was. The Kent family, Clark, Lois, John, the Kents, they are comic book gold. At least they were. And that's, the one of the stories from DC's holiday special that came out in 2017, which are good. There's 11 stories in all. 3 of them I don't like. And that's saying something. Because the one that came out in 2016, I loved every single one of them. But there are 3 in here that I just have no interest in at all. But the majority of them are good. So if you can still find this at your local comic shop, then I would say, pick it up. Because, yeah, this is worth the $9.99 price tag. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I mean, I will be reviewing more of these stories that are in here in days to come. So please do keep coming back to my channel, Spirit Comics, to see the rest. And I've got lots more comic book reviews coming your way soon. I'm Michael for Spirit Comics. Thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please do subscribe and smash that notification bell hard like She-Hulk, so you do not miss any notifications. And if you're not getting my notifications for some odd reason, and you happen to stumble across this video, tell me, down in the comments. So, until next time, true readers, I am Michael for Spirit Comics.